My lords, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to Mass Effect. We pick it up where we left off, or just about where we left off, which was after we'd encountered a Thresher Maw down at planet side due to this distress beacon that was set here. So we're going to return to the location now and see if we can't take this Thresher Maw down. Before I do that, actually, first of all, let's just quickly assign some points to our squad. I keep forgetting to do this, and there's no wonder I'm struggling in combat when I'm essentially accompanied with what could be classified as level 1 characters. You know, they just can't hold their own, so I'm just going to distribute some points fairly evenly at the moment, starting with Liara Tsoni, focusing obviously heavily on her biotic abilities. I'm not going to go for electronics, we already have several characters who can do that. However, I am going to focus on her first aid, because she can keep the squad going in battle. We also have Tali Zora Naraya, so we've already done some points onto her. Let's just go ahead and dump a few more on, I think. And I think given that she is a tech specialist, there's no sense in not dumping as many as we can into little buffs that we can pick up for combat. We'll also go ahead and grab her the first aid unlock. The more characters that, you know, are able to deploy first aid in combat, the better it is for all of us. This is our current layout here. We've got no points to spend for ourselves, so we'll just press on. What I did want to do, and in fact I'll just pause it before I do this, is check if I can adjust the steering controls of the Mako, because that's what was hamstringing me last time, the fact that it steers like it's on ice. I'll just pause it here and I'll see what I can do. Okay, unfortunately it doesn't look like I can adjust the steering mode, so I'll just have to get used to it. The thing what throws me is that it'll steer towards the direction your cannon is pointing. So I need to, if I want to go forwards, and you know what I'm saying. Already we seem to have made a bit of a better start against this Thresher Maw. Here are those limbs I mentioned previously, what remind me of the hands that used to come out and grab you on Ocarina of Time, if you ever played that back in the day. Don't think I'm able to hit that there. See, this is where I'm getting, yeah, the steering is not the best. By the time I figured out and remembered how to steer, the Thresher Maw has either disappeared, or he's got several shots on me, which is not what I want. Okay. I do like the fact he leaves an underground trail as he moves under. That wasn't something present previously. And it does obviously telegraph his location, which makes avoiding him that bit easier. See, now that I'm pointing backwards, the controls are all reversed, and it's very counterintuitive. What I'm going to do is repair, oh god, which does disable my munitions for the time being, as well as the jump jets and the boosts, but that's okay, we've had them back now. I'm not sure if these are actually registering damage. Oh, it looks like they are. He's almost down. We're making a much better fist of it this time around, which is good to see. Really struggled last time, as you saw in the previous episode at the end. But I think a couple more hits here, and he should be down for the count. Again, I don't know if these hits are reg... Oh, yes, they are. He's dead. Okay. It wasn't a tough battle per se. It's like I said, you're fighting against the controls on the Mako, which is the main problem. Okay, so let's we can examine these Alliance Marines.
Alliance soldiers. Looks like they were lured here by the distress beacon.
Much like ourselves, Tali. So
it appears these men were under the command of Admiral Kahoku. He will want to know what happened here.
Yes, if you cast your mind back, Admiral Kahoku did request that we search for a missing recon team of his, and it looks like these are those Marines that he was looking for. Sadly, we're going to have to return to the Citadel at some point and give him the bad news. So, where are we? Okay, so we're currently at this distress signal here, which has now been dealt with. So if we head straight forward as we're looking now, we should reach an anomaly. So what I'll do, as I did on Sharia, I'll pause it now, and we'll pick it up as we get close to the next point of interest. Okay, I am back on it now. As you can see, the anomaly that we're picking up from orbit is just, or should be, just over the crest of this hill. Let's see if we can spot what it is from distance. It looks like it's down in this little valley here. Looks like a crashed probe of some description, maybe. We'll get closer in. Oh no, it's a Solarian corpse. Okay, let's investigate this. I imagine this is going to have a League of One medallion. If we just recover the artifact, just complete the minigame there. You found Captain Mylon's identification tag. How it ended up here is impossible to know for sure. Okay, so it wasn't a League of One medallion, it was a identity tag. Again, that's another little side quest we can do. So that's the anomaly surveyed. So what we'll do now again is we'll pause it and we'll pick it up as we get close to the next point of interest. Okay, we're back and we are just approaching a debris, or pile of debris. It looks like it's going to be just on the top of this small rise here. So we'll go and investigate what we've got here. We just... Okay, this is a downed satellite of some description, or a probe. It's a crash probe. Can we interact with it? No, our electronic skill is too low. So I am going to have to make a point to return to these at some point. I'll do it off camera, or what I might do is like a compilation, if you will, where we return to all these probes and lockers. Perhaps not the lockers, because they only contain weaponry which you can collect almost anywhere, so that's not a major issue. But for completion's sake, to make sure we complete all the side quests, we are going to want to return to any crashed probes and such that we're not unable to access at the moment. So we've just approached here our first mineral deposit, and it is a lithium deposit, so we'll go ahead and survey this. That'll strike us +1 on our mini quest, side quest for surveying the light metals. And what we'll do now is we'll head off. Again, I'll pause the video, pause the recording now, and I'll pick it up just as I approach the second mineral deposit on this planet once I locate it. So I'll see you in a few moments. Okay, we're back. As you can see, we're approaching the second mineral deposit. This is located along the southernmost border of the playable area on this map. I'll give you a proper overview on the full map in a few moments. Once we just arrive here, this is a palladium deposit, so let's hop out. If we just look at the map quickly, this is where we're located. I believe this area here is the drop point, so if you were to go 180 and go straight south from the drop point, you'll come across this mineral deposit for surveying. So let's go ahead and just survey this one right now. There we go, that's a heavy metal. I appear to be stuck. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now we'll return to the Mako, and we shall head out and see where the third and final mineral deposit is located. Once again, I'll just put a cut in here now for convenience sake for you guys, and I'll pick it up once we get there. Okay, we've pinpointed the third and final mineral deposit on Edolus, or Edolus. I'm not quite sure what the correct pronunciation of the planet name is, and it looks like it's going to be on the top of this little hill or small mountain just here, perhaps in this little crater. Yes, there it is. I'll show you where we are on the map just before I exit the Mako. So what's that, northwest of the second mineral deposit we came across, so pretty much west from the starting location is where you can discover and find this third and final deposit, which is a polonium deposit. So we'll go ahead and survey that now. Nice easy one to survey there. There we go. So we'll get back in the Mako and we'll return to the Normandy, and then this planet is complete. However, we will need to return at some point in the future to access the downed probe that we were unable to due to having a poor electronics skill. So we'll return to this later, and as I said, I'll probably do it as a compilation where I return to anything that I've not been able to access so far and get them all in one video and just make a sort of, I suppose you could say, a montage of the my efforts there. So that's Edolus done. We explored Treminare. We have an asteroid cluster here. I believe we did survey this. Yes, we did, so there's no options to do any further there. If we now go to Altair, or Altair, nothing to do here. So we'll move on to the next planet, which is Ontamalka. We can survey this one, so let's see what we locate. This is a gas deposit, a large concentration of hydrogen. Our final planet is Alsages. Again, another one we can survey. And we have a rare element, which is plutonium. Now, there is this outer asteroid belt here, so I'm just going to take the time just to run the icon, the cursor, over the entire diameter, the entire circumference, and see if there's anything of interest. It doesn't look like there is. So that's the Sparta system done as much as we can for the time being anyway. So we can back out from Artemis Tau. So in terms of where we want to head next, overall I do want to head to Novaria for the next part of the story. However, I think I'm going to take the time actually to explore various systems on the way. So we'll head to the Hades Gamma cluster. Here we have two systems, Antaeus, and we have Farinata. So we'll do alphabetical again, and we'll go to Antaeus. So we'll just travel to another system, and we'll see what lies in wait here for us next. Okay, so here we are in the system of Antaeus. We have quite a few planets here. The innermost one, Ajaco. There's nothing for us to do here, so we can quickly move on from that. Then we come to Edmos. We can survey this. As it's a gas giant, I imagine it's going to be a gas deposit. Indeed it is, and it's a large concentration of hydrogen. Next up we have Ploba, which is another gas giant. But this time it actually comes with some matriarch's writing, so let's have a read of this, shall we? You've recovered a strange object orbiting Ploba. Chief Engineer Adams and Tally tried unsuccessfully to determine its origin. They did find one of Matriarch Dilinarga's writings stored within. Now, it never expands on those writings in the game, but they are part of a side quest, so I do like to pick them up. Next we have Trebin. We can land on this planet. There is no hazard warning here, like we had on Shayir, so there's no need to worry about how long we spend in the atmosphere outside of the Mako or any structures that may be present. This time I'm going to go with Garrus and Erdnot Rex. I'll also take the time once we land to ensure they're properly leveled up. That should hopefully help Garrus be less of a liability when it comes to combat. So while I did give him a hard time in previous videos, chances are it is probably my own fault. So I'll just pause it quickly so you don't have to watch me do the leveling up, because it might be a bit dull to watch, and I'll pick it up once we're done and I'll explain what points I spent and where. So for Garrus, I've distributed them between assault rifles, tactical armour, a few on assault training and first aid. He's now unlocked the electronic skill and the sniper rifle skill, but I'm yet to assign any points to that. Moving on to Erdnot Rex, we have another 8 points to drop in here, and I want to make this guy a bit of a tank. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to boost his combat armour all the way to maximum. That'll give him a lot more survivability, and then we'll also drop some points into health. That at the minute as it stands gives him a plus 17 health bonus. So there we go. So here we are on Trebin. We actually have 4 points of interest that have been picked up from orbit, 2 anomalies, a research base and some debris. So I'm going to do this in a counterclockwise motion and head first of all towards the anomaly, which is located off to the east. So we'll head that way now, and I'll pick up the once I get a little bit closer, and we'll see what we've got at this anomaly. So with you join me as we're just zeroing in on the first anomaly that we've detected on this planet. Oh, there are actually 2 markers here. Let's have a... That's quite interesting. That wasn't visible. I don't like the look of this plateau. Usually, yep, there it is. I was just going to say it usually indicates there's a Thresher Maw. So another bit of Mako combat for you to enjoy. Hopefully it's a little bit more successful than the first time I encountered one on Edolus. So far we're going quite well. His attacks are, if you time it just right, are quite easy to avoid. Not as easy as the Geth armature attacks, where the projectiles travel quite slowly. The venom, at least I assume it's venom, that this guy secretes, shall we say, is a lot faster, and it has a wider dispersal pattern, so you have to be careful as to how you look to avoid it. He's sent up some sensory tentacles. I'm not quite sure what purpose they serve. I don't know if they can damage you in any way, or if they help him get a bead on you while he's underground, but either way I'm just going to take them down because they are flagged clearly as enemies on the minimap. So he's down to about 25% health at the moment. We're at 50%, but we do have full shield capacity. So I do believe we have the upper hand as it stands in this battle. I'm just trying to remember, but I don't believe the Thresher Maw in the original Mass Effect fired the venom, or the toxic spittle, whatever you want to call it, in such a wide dispersal pattern previously, and he's right up my arse here. But it should only take a couple of hits and hopefully we're safe. Oh my life, that's going to be close. Is he down? He is down. That was extremely close. So I'm going to take the time now to actually heal and repair the Mako. It is burning through my Omnigel at an alarming rate. So at some point I'm going to have to take some time, go through the crew loadouts in terms of weaponry, and anything that is no longer required I will have to scrap or break down, is the correct word I suppose, into Omnigel to top up my supplies. So here we have some ancient debris. We can recover this one, which is nice. And if we go straight through, we get a Turian insignia. There are no signs of any survivors. The pod is empty, except for a small tattered flag marked with the Neminus colony insignia. Okay, so that's another Turian insignature recovered. Again, that is another side stroke mini quest available, and for completion's sake I'm going to aim to pick them all up and chart their locations throughout the playthrough. Meanwhile, I'm going to pause the recording once again and pick it up as we approach our next point of interest. Okay, we're back with it again, and we're just stumbled across a mineral deposit. You can just see it there on the side of the cliff face. So as we're passing, we shall go ahead and survey this deposit and see what it gives us. So we have a uranium deposit. Oops, timed that all sorts of wrong, but that's a lot better effort. Yep, a large deposit of uranium, which is a rare material, rare metal, rare element. I'm not quite sure how the game describes it. So once again, we'll pause it here and we'll pick it back up when we get to our next point of interest. Okay, that was a short and brief interlude there. We are coming upon our next point of interest, which is, by the looks of it, the research facility. We have 2 markings on the minimap, one off to the right, which we shall have a look at first, which looks like a mine entrance. Yes, indeed. And then over to the left, we have a series of cabins or habitation modules.
Nobody's been here for a while.
2 storage domes and a all-terrain vehicle. So let's take the time and head into these little buildings and see what we've got. We've got a malfunctioning object that provides Toxic Seals 3 armor upgrade. In the second one, we have a medical kit for a top-up of our Medigel supplies, which is always useful. Third and finally, we have a computer console.
According to these data logs, the survey team unearthed some kind of alien technology.
Could be answers at the excavation site.
That's obviously guiding us to our next point of interest, which is the excavation site just across the plains. We'll first just take everything out of the weapons locker, take them all, and then we'll head back to the Mako, and as the game is telegraphing, we shall drive on over to the excavation site, which is obviously just at the foot of this cliff face here. Head inside and see what awaits us in here. I wouldn't be surprised if there are some enemies in here. So we'll go in expecting resistance and some combat, and hopefully we'll see if Garrus is able to hold his own a little better or a little more successfully than he had done previously. So let's go and get our correct weapons. So as we progress through the first door, which looks like it leads into some sort of antechamber, there is very little of interest in here. So we just press on through the next door through a sort of elongated airlock setup. Okay, we do have enemies here, so let's just make ourselves ready for combat, and we have a series of husks. Oh, that was nice timing. Made him fly. Fly, husky, fly. Step back, he's going to disrupt our shields. That's okay. Okay, I'm going to... What am I doing? I'm going to switch now to the Lancer, because we have close quarters combat, and we have them all huddled. So dropping into a more rapid fire weapon is likely to be the better option here. So I've lost both Garrus and Rex now. I have no grenades to thin the herd. Perhaps I should have saved the grenade I used to launch the first husk. So step back from his EMP blast there, which disrupts your shields. I'm getting cornered now. This is not good. Can I charge through? Yes, I can, but I've been killed. That's very unfortunate, so we'll pick it back up at the start of this little dungeon, I suppose you could term it, as a generic sort of term for... Oh, for pity's sake, it's all the way back fucking here. Okay, what I'll do is I'll just pause it, I'll go to everything that I had done already, I'm not going to repeat all that, and we'll pick it back up just at the entrance of the colony. Okay, so I've returned to where I was. I've progressed and completed everything that I'd done up until this point. So here we are back with the Geth encounter. I'm going to immediately switch to the Lancer like before and see if we don't have a bit more success dealing with these guys this time around. I'm certainly not having much luck. I'm almost dead. However, Garrus and Rex are holding their own. If we just have a look, how can I make them deploy first aid? I cannot. Okay. But I can do it myself, so let's do that. This is a much more manageable wave of enemies rather than them all coming at once. They seem to be coming one at a time, which gives us time to drop them, although we have got a cluster arriving now. If I just quickly assign Garrus to overkill, likewise Rex to overkill, that should help. My weapon's overheated, which is very annoying. I'm going to deploy Unity to get the squad back up as quickly as I can, just so there's extra targets for the husks to contend with, and it should keep them off my back at least somewhat. Oh, they're close. Let's just heal up. Okay, we've got, is it just the remaining two here? Just going to charge past and let them come down. In the words of Obi-Wan Kenobi, they have the high ground, but I have the automatic weapon. That's, hopefully we're down to the last one now. I think we're good.
Perimeter clear.
Okay, so that encounter went a lot better than the first time around. Hopefully that now means we can explore this little room at our leisure. Although there are a few more chambers off on the sides, which, if memory serves, usually contain further enemies. So we'll take the time just to explore this large chamber first before we open any doors. That way we can pick up any upgrades, any crates such as this one, and see if we can, you know, so just see what we've got available to us basically. And then we can do it without worrying about enemies charging through the door. So we've got Striker 3, which is a pistol, Edge 3, which is another pistol, and Gladiator 3, which is medium human armour. So pressing onwards, making sure to explore all areas. We have another locked crate, so if we just override this quickly, we shall receive Storm 3, Lancer 3 and Liberator 3, which are shotguns, assault rifle and heavy armour for Krogan respectively. So again, we'll continue onwards now. We have two doors available to us, one off to the left, one to the right. Okay, that's triggered them to open the door, and we have a large wave of husks now approaching. So if we just return to cover somewhat and see if we can't thin the herd from a distance. If I can get a shot on that barrel, that would be helpful, especially if they head our way. Okay, I got a shot on, but I'm not sure if it actually did anything. The husks appear to be having some pathfinding issues, which is making this battle a lot easier than it ordinarily would be. Watch for the shield discharge, Garrus. He's down. Take a step back. Don't get penned in. Perhaps if we kite them around the exterior of the room, we're not going to get hemmed into a tight corridor. Which on one hand serves an advantage because it funnels the enemies, on the other hand it gives them an advantage because we have nowhere to retreat to if things get a little bit dicey. So we just can't drop this guy. No, he's going to explode. Let's deploy some first aid. Okay, that's scratch one more. Try and take a few more of the stragglers out that are isolated from the main group. Should make life a bit easier. I think it's time we'll try and deploy Unity to get Garrus back into the fight, and then we'll immediately deploy Medigel, which will obviously give him that little health boost. I'm stuck in this corner, which is unfortunate. Sometimes the collisions and the hitboxes with the environment are a little bit annoying. Okay, Garrus is back down. Like to say I'm surprised by that, but I'm really not. I think at some point in my near future we'll see if I can't pin some points into assault rifles. I believe you can do that later. At a certain level you get further unlocked, but I can't remember what level it is or how far off I am. Take a step back. That was close, that was close. Let's let the build up dissipate. Build up of heat, obviously. There we go. That accounts for all of the Exogeny survey team. They were converted to cybernetic husks by devices similar to those used by the Geth on Eden Prime. How they came to be buried on a frontier world so far from Geth territory is a mystery. Okay, so that tells me then that this zone is now clear, so we can continue our exploration of the excavation site at a nice steady pace. Here are the dragon's teeth that clearly converted them. A sludge canister containing a shotgun and some light human armour, because where else would you keep your rifles and armour except in a canister full of sludge? So you know, I see the logic and the wisdom in that. We have one final chamber to explore. Let's just see what this holds in store for us. We have a secure crate with average decryption, which I am able to decrypt with my current decryption level. That was unfortunate, but that was a much more successful run. And this is a sniper rifle, heavy armour for a human, and more light armour for a human. Okay, so that concludes the exploration of this little research centre. We have discovered what happened to the Exogeny research team. Unfortunately, they all met a foul end as they were converted into husks. As the game said, how they managed to be converted into husks in a similar method to what the Geth used when they're so far from Geth territory is a mystery, and perhaps one we shall never get to the bottom of. But regardless, we've done what we needed to do, we've cleared this area out, and we can then press on back onto the surface and continue the planet-side exploration, exploring the further anomalies and picking up, hopefully, the remaining 2 mineral deposits that we are yet to survey on this world. So we'll head into the Mako now, and we'll continue with that, and we'll pick the video up just as we approach the next point of interest. Okay, so we're approaching another anomaly that we have detected from orbit. It looks like it's just over this little crest here. Let's see if we can spot it. What do we have? Oh, we have a series of downed probes. Let's see what's happening here, shall we? We have a transmitter tower and what looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 crashed probes. We can interact with the transmitter tower, so let's see what we've got here. This device is transmitting tight beam signals into geosynchronous orbit. This disrupts the survey team's GPS satellites, causing them to crash nearby. Okay, so we've disabled that. Can we interact with any of the crashed probes? Let's just take the time and have a look. No, and no, and no. Oh, we have one more just over here. I didn't spot that one. It was masked by the landscape. We'll check it just to make sure. No doing there. And I think we tried this one. Yes, we did. That's also a no-go. So let's get back into the Mako. Once again, we'll pick it up as we approach our next point. Are you kidding me? What the? Right, I'm going to have to check, see if there's a console command to enable no clipping, because I don't want to repeat this world once again. So bear with me. Can I? Ah, that's a good idea. If I just return to the Normandy and then return back to the planet, that's probably the best way to do it. That was lucky, because I thought I was going to have to redo the whole mission. So we'll just land back on the planet and we'll try and pick up from where we left off. Okay, so we've touched back down in the original landing zone. On the map we only have this item of debris left that we detected from orbit. Oh, and as I just head towards that, we've just stumbled upon the second, and for this planet, incidentally, the final mineral deposit. So let's go ahead and pick this mineral deposit up first, and then we'll head over to the debris. And then Trebin has been completely explored, and we can then press on with further exploration, surveying, and game just general progression. Just lost my train of thought entirely, so if you do see it, please return to sender. Okay, can we quickly buzz? No. There we go. A rare element, and that was some more plutonium. Back into the vehicle then. And I'll just pause it now, and I'll pick it back up just as we approach the last point of interest, which was the debris that was detected from orbit. Okay, so I'm just approaching the debris, the debris there, which is looking like it's just over this little rise. There is an enemy being picked up on the minimap, so we'll have to be careful because I don't know what lies in wait. Scavengers. shame that they just opened fire and this encounter couldn't be resolved peacefully, but that was their choice. They shot first. So there we go, that's the last. No, it's not. He survived a direct cannon shot to the face. Fair play to you, you mental bastard. So let's salvage. Oh, we can't. So again, Trebin is another planet that's going to have to be added to the list of places I need to return to once I've leveled up a bit. In fact, I have just leveled up, haven't I? Let me quickly dump some points into my electronics skill and see if that is enough to enable me to access this crashed probe here. So we have the points added to electronics. Let's now see if we can salvage. Yes, we can. Which to me says that I can also at any point now return to the other planets where I had probes and such like that I wasn't able to access. And I should be able to, if I can actually access this one. Bypass failed. Try again. Yes, I should be able to access the ones that were inaccessible to me just a few moments previous. So let's oh, for God's sake, I'm having some sort of nightmare here today with this. Oh, for God's sake, just avoid the red blocks. It's not hard, it's really not. Oh, fuck this for a game of soldiers. There we go. Okay, was it worth it? Probably not, but I've done it anyway and it's ticked off the list. So now we can get into the Mako. This planet is now 100% explored and charted, and we can return to the Normandy and press on to the next planet, which I'm going to go ahead at this point and say will be in a future episode. We've explored 2 planets now, Edolus and Trebin in the one episode, encountered 2 Thresher Maws and a load of husks, died twice, which was annoying, but all in all, a bit of action involved, a bit of exploration, charted some worlds and demonstrated the locations of the mineral deposits that aren't detectable from orbit. You have to get a visual location when you're planet side, so hopefully that's helped you as well. Hope you've enjoyed this episode then. I think it's had a nice balance of action and a bit of more relaxed exploration. We also got the Mako impaled on a transmitter, so I'm glad to see that those sort of bugs have been patched out of the game after they updated the graphics. Good work there, although I shouldn't criticise because I am loving the game and I can overlook the occasional little boo-boo such as that. So if you did enjoy the episode and you are enjoying the series, please go ahead and leave a like, a comment, or even subscribe. It does help the video and it does help the channel. Obviously at the moment it's a very, very, very small channel, and every little bit of help it can receive would be greatly appreciated by me. And if I could, I'd reach through the monitor and kiss you on the lips. Fortunately I can't do that, or perhaps better to say fortunately I cannot do that. So all that remains for me to say now is there'll be no kisses. Instead there shall be a farewell from me. Take care of yourselves guys, and I'll catch you later. Ta-ta.